Therapy, and by KCN Transportation, providing quality limo service in the New England area. Call 508-586-7080. In the ring, dynamic young boxer Mike Oliver, known as the Machine. He is unbeaten, 12-0 from Hartford, Connecticut. Big things expected from Mike Oliver, but he needs a victory tonight, and it will not be easy against a very upset-minded Terry Lantz. Larry Michael along with Dana Rosenblatt and George Kimball ringside here at Mohegan Sun for Mohegan Sun Fight Night USA, and it's great to have you with us as well. Mike Oliver has got a lot of hype behind him. Is he the real deal?
He's a solid young fighter, puts everything together very nicely. 12 victories, 6 knockouts. The kid's a budding superstar.
Coming off a win in this very same arena, 9th round TKO over Gonzalez. You saw that fight. You were here for that fight, Dana. What kind of fight was it?
Mike Oliver fought a wonderful fight. He boxed in the beginning of the fight as Gonzalez came after him, and you know, he was able to ward off his opponent, eventually putting together some beautiful hard counter punches, and eventually knocking out his opponent in impressive fashion later on in the rounds.
Here comes his opponent, Terry Lantz from West Palm Beach, Florida, coming off a big upset win. And he'd like to pull off the same type of victory here tonight against Mike Oliver. So it is Oliver and Lantz. So the unbeaten record of Oliver is on the line here tonight, and you get this one introduced officially. Here's Bill Carpenter.
Capiello Promotions presents this Mohegan Sun Fight Night USA special feature. This bout is conducted under the supervision of the Mohegan Tribe Department of Athletic Regulation. Chairman of the Mohegan Tribe, Bruce Bosom. We're scheduled for 8 rounds of boxing in the featherweight division. Your judges are Glenn Feldman, George Smith, and Stephen Weisfeld. Your referee for this bout is Eddie Claudio. Introducing the red corner, he's wearing the black trunks with silver. His weight for tonight's bout, 125 pounds. His winning professional record shows 10 wins with only 5 losses, 6 wins coming by way of knockout. From West Palm Beach, Florida, here is Terry, the Palm Beach Punisher, Lantz. Terry Lantz. His opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He's wearing the black trunks with white lettering. He weighed in at 124 pounds. Undefeated as a professional with 12 victories, no defeats, 6 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of his hometown of Hartford, Connecticut, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Machine Gun Oliver. Mike
Oliver and Lantz. And Oliver has a lot of fans in attendance with over 300 amateur fights. National PAL finalist. Mike Oliver from Hartford, Connecticut. And Dana with a look at the matchup.
Looking here at the matchup, Mike Oliver, Terry Lantz, both of these guys, height 5'6". Oliver weighing 124, Lantz 125. Oliver short reach is 61 inches compared to Lantz 67. Oliver is 26 years old and Lantz is 29.
And we are underway.
Palm Beach Punisher sounds like you ought to be a dominatrix or something.
Obviously, Oliver is the southpaw.
You know, if Oliver's 26 years old, and it occurred to me that I've probably seen him fight for 20, and I checked with John Scully, his cornerman, and I was right. He first laced on the gloves at 2 years old.
You can see it.
Nice counter that time by Lantz as Oliver missed with a wild winging hook. And both these guys are wound very tight early.
Since he was getting spoon-fed baby food, he was thinking about blocking right hooks.
Oh yeah, I mean, but Mike Oliver, when he was 9 years old, used to go up with Joey Prado, and they'd fight in the first bout before the Golden Gloves. And Johnny Duke used to have to lift him off the stool when the round would start.
Talking about Lantz being confident. Now Oliver has to be tremendously confident. Never lost as a pro.
Ooh.
Rabbit punch that time by Lantz will draw the warning from the referee, Eddie Claudio. And Lantz fighting right in front. No intimidation factor here in terms of Lantz being a little nervous in front of the home crowd. Nice ripping shots to the body by Oliver.
Oliver's just putting those punches together. Not very hard punches at this point. Oh, nice counter right hand. Now there, we're going to watch the southpaw against the right-hander play itself out here. Right now, Oliver is allowing Lantz to move to his right, and Oliver's not really taking advantage of his southpaw stance at this point in time. But I'm sure he's just trying to bait Lantz into his punches.
Yeah, Mikey's fought a few right-handers in his day.
Oh, yeah.
Lantz doesn't want to be up against the ropes. Spins around, now gets Oliver up on the ropes.
Like Oliver was credited with something like 150 amateur fights, and Scully reckons that with all those exhibitions and things, he's probably closer to 300. You know, silver mittens and kid fights, and
you know, you really can't factor that in properly when you think about the eons of experience that a guy like Oliver has.
Lantz looking for an opening. Now, Oliver has a good defensive posture. Gets his hands up there high. Not a lot of room to hit. Round one coming to a close. This fight is scheduled for 8 rounds tonight here at Mohegan Sun.
Working from home changed my life.
It all started when I was referred by this freeze.
Getting some instructions from John Scully, his trainer, here after a round of the scheduled 8-rounder. Oliver unbeaten at 12-0. Everybody having a good time tonight at Mohegan Sun, that's for sure.
John Scully looking for Mike Oliver to make those counter punches and make them count.
There's action from round one. And Oliver scored with a short little uppercut on the way in, and that is the rabbit punch, which drew the warning from the referee. Round two is underway. And George, how'd you score round one?
I gave that one very narrowly to Mike Oliver. I thought Lantz did some very good work in it, but somebody had to win it, and I think Mike did. That rabbit, it would be hard to make a case that rabbit punch was accidental, particularly when you look at that replay. I mean, he was looking right at his neck when he threw it.
Nice left hand to the body that time by Lantz. And again, you know, you look at Lantz's record, 10-5, and so far, I know we're very early in this fight, he looks like he belongs in there with Oliver.
Well, Lantz is a very strong fighter. You can see physically he's very strong. He's got really good balance.
Referee asking him to wipe some grease off the body.
What, did he go up and hug the round card girl between rounds or what?
Corner says we didn't put any grease on his body.
To neutralize the strength of Lantz, Oliver's going to have to start to use his southpaw stance. He's going to have to start to use some movement to his right, sneaking around that left foot of Lantz.
Oliver's got quick hands. I mean, it's a blur when he throws a combination.
Beautiful left uppercut landed to punctuate that combination by Mike Oliver.
I mean, the judges can't see those punches. They're happening so fast. Man.
Oliver now countering with the right jab.
How do you combat a guy, Dana, with that kind of hand speed? I don't know if you ever faced anybody with that kind of blazing hand speed, but what do you do?
Well, it's really what Lantz is doing. He's fighting a physical fight, and he's pressing Oliver and not really giving him a chance to get off with those combinations. And, you know, if Lantz is going to be effective in this fight, he's going to push, he's going to press, and he's going to make the fight ugly. He's not going to stand out there. This is Oliver's game right now.
Right hand just misses by Lantz. Again, Oliver with his hands held high right in front of his face. And a lightning combination again by Oliver.
counter. Oliver just sliding back just enough, gets a little range, come back with a 1-2.
Well, as you'd expect from a guy with that kind of hand speed, Oliver just has basically very good instincts, and that includes defensive instincts too. I mean, he can not only throw those punches quickly, he can get out of the way of punches that would hit a lot of other guys.
Exactly, and those two things coupled together makes him 12-0.
Best punch of the fight right there, and Lantz says no, but it right down the middle, landed right on the mouth. Round 2 coming to a close here at Mohegan Sun. Round 3 will be next.
If you 33154. Operators are standing by.
Access is America's choice for diabetic supplies. Call Access today. You'll be glad you did.
All right, welcome back to Mohegan Sun. Round 3 is next, as you can see. The corner of Mike Oliver after a very, very active round 2. Oliver making to face the camera. Action underway in round 3, so we'll stick with that.
Back him up, Terry. There you go. Back him up. That's the body shot I want. He reached.
Near the corner, off to our side. They want Lantz to back him up. Give us the strategy behind that. Oliver can't fight as well. Backing up, I guess, is the point there.
Well, they want Lantz to crowd Oliver. They want him to crowd him, not to give him the room to open up with those combinations that he's been able to get off thus far. In the case where Lantz fights the physical fight, holds him, crowds him, hits him on the break, hits him on the waist, that's the stuff that Lantz has to do to be effective. He's got to rough up Oliver. You can't let Oliver just get off with those combinations because Oliver's just a killer like that.
Oliver looks like he's got the hand speed, but he really hasn't hurt Lantz, and he's tagged him flush several times so far.
Oliver's not going to get you with 1 punch. He's going to get you with 13 punches.
There we go. Good shot. Stay there. Back again. There you go. Dump it up.
I'll tell you what I like thus far. You can see Oliver, really good reflexes, watching and baiting Lantz to come in and countering with the right jab. He's countering with a jab, and you know, it's ironic that a jab would be one of the harder punches landed in a fight, but Oliver's counter jab where Lantz is thrusting himself in, when Oliver counters with that jab, he's actually been able to land his hardest punches with just that punch, that jab.
Nice body work by Oliver as well here in round 3.
Nice counter left.
You're looking at the face of Lantz. I'm beginning to see a little frustration creeping in.
Oh, definitely. You know, when you can get this close to your opponent, throw hard shots, and not really land anything to get your opponent's attention, as your opponent looks to the crowd, sticks his tongue out, and starts making faces.
Yeah, Oliver's showboating a little bit.
It's demoralizing.
I mean, the right hand of the body by Oliver is really beginning to find a home. Moments ago, he went to the body and head with that right hand. And a little swelling above the left eye of Lantz. And the sharp shooting of Oliver is beginning to do some damage.
You don't look for a guy like Oliver to pin his opponent on the ropes and do big damage with punches. No, that's not where a guy like Mike Oliver does his damage. Oliver does his damage, lands his hardest shots when he's countering, when he's mixing it up. All of a sudden, because of his speed, because of his accuracy, he lands that pinpoint shot, and his opponent is stunned, and all of a sudden he finds himself on the canvas.
Round 3 coming to a close here at Mohegan Sun. Fine round for Mike Oliver.
Attention, if you owe 1-800-310-3260 to see